Who is Edward Snowden? Edward Snowden was born on June 21st, 1983, in North Carolina. His parents are Lon Snowden and Elizabeth, who went by Wendy Snowden. His father is a retired member of the United States Coast Guard, and his mother worked at the United States District Court in Maryland. Her last known place of employment was when she was working as the Chief Deputy of Administration and Information Technology. His parents divorced in 2001. His older sister, named Jessica, worked as a lawyer in Washington, D.C. for a federal judicial center. Snowden was raised in Scott City, Maryland. He spent his elementary and middle school years in Crowford, but he attended high school at Ardrell High School in 1997 before he dropped out after the first semester of his sophomore year. Later, he blamed the public school system on an anime website for the reason why he turned out the way he did, in a joking way. During that year that Snowden dropped out of high school, there were several things that happened that year. President Bill Clinton was sworn into a second term. He balanced the budget for the United States and had a surplus instead of the normal deficit that we always hear about in almost 24 years. The unemployment rate at that time was under 5%, something that hasn't been seen in a while. Another thing that happened during this year was that the Mars rover landed. Snowden eventually decided to go back to college at Ann Ardell Community College, twice actually. The first time was from 1999 to 2001, and his second attempt was from 2004 to 2005. When he was at college, he was there to study what you expect, computers, of course. Eventually, Snowden did receive his GED. In 2004, Snowden was enlisted in the Army Reserve for the Special Forces program for about 4 months before he was discharged for breaking his legs. When he dropped out of college the second time, he somehow miraculously got a job as a security guard with the National Security Agency, which is known as the NSA. Who is Edward Snowden? Edward Snowden is an American white male who is living the dream that most Americans would love to have any given day of the week. He was living in the wonderful paradise of Hawaii while being able to cash in $200,000 a year. And when he had lost some money, moving to a different firm, such as Booz Allen Hamilton, he was still making $122,000 with a GED and no college diploma. It doesn't get too much better than that. This man is known around the United States and across the whole world for one reason: committing treason, a crime that is punishable by death. This is a man who stole thousands of government property and sensitive information, and then he went on to leak that information to different media outlets starting around April of 2013. He could have been living happily with $122,000 if he would have kept quiet and said nothing. Now he's a wanted man who will probably never be able to step foot in America as a free man. Snowden was known as the person who exposed the NSA surveillance against people and their privacy, as well as the spying of other countries. This is a man who would have been irrelevant, who no one would have known if he hadn't done what he did. He is wrong for doing what he did and is now living in Russia under asylum. Whether you consider him a hero or a traitor, by law, he has committed treason.